I read a book in the library. A student sitting at a table in a library, reading a book intently. Shelves filled with books are visible in the background. We write the test in the classroom. A group of students sitting at desks in a classroom, writing on papers, with a teacher walking around supervising. The teacher explains a math problem. A teacher standing in front of a chalkboard, pointing to a math equation. Students are watching and listening attentively. I do my homework after school. A student sitting at a desk at home, writing in a notebook with textbooks and a laptop open around them. We play during recess. Children playing outside on a school playground with swings, a slide, and other playground equipment. The students participate in a science experiment. Several students wearing lab coats and safety goggles, observing a science experiment involving colorful liquids in beakers. I carry my backpack to school. A young student walking to school with a heavy backpack, school buildings in the background. We learn about history in class. A history teacher showing ancient artifacts or a timeline to students in a classroom. The school bus arrives in the morning. Children getting on a yellow school bus in the morning light, with a suburban street scene in the background. I draw a picture in art class. A student drawing on a canvas in an art class, with various art supplies like paints and brushes visible on the table. I go to school every morning. A cheerful cartoon of a young student with a backpack walking towards a colorful school building. We learn math in our classroom. An illustration of students sitting at desks with a teacher explaining math on a blackboard. I do my homework after school. A cartoon of a student sitting at a desk at home, writing in a notebook with books and a lamp around. Our teacher reads us a story. A classroom scene where a teacher is reading a book to a group of attentive children sitting around her. We have a science test next week. A vector graphic of a student studying with science books and a microscope on the table. I play with my friends during recess. A playful scene of children playing various games in the school playground. I ride the school bus every day. A cartoon of children boarding a bright yellow school bus with a friendly driver. We draw and paint in art class. An artistic scene with students using brushes and paints on canvases in an art room. I read books in the school library. A cozy library setting with a child reading a book surrounded by shelves of books. We learn about history from our teacher. An educational scene in a classroom with a teacher showing historical images and artifacts to students. The language of love, simple English conversations. How does Simon show his love for Barbara? Simon gives Barbara flowers. Where do Simon and Barbara like to spend time together? They like to spend time at the beach in Australia. What special day do they celebrate together? They celebrate their anniversary. What does Barbara do to make Simon feel special? Barbara cooks Simon's favorite dinner. How often do Simon and Barbara say "I love you" to each other? They say, I love you every day. What hobby do Simon and Barbara enjoy together? They enjoy hiking in the mountains of Canada. Where did Simon and Barbara meet for the first time? They met in a coffee shop in London. What is Barbara's favorite gift from Simon? Her favorite gift is a handmade bracelet. How do Simon and Barbara relax on weekends? They watch movies together. What city do Simon and Barbara dream of visiting? They dream of visiting Paris. How do they celebrate Valentine's Day? They write each other love letters. What song do Simon and Barbara consider their song? Their song is Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. What is Simon's favorite thing about Barbara? Simon loves Barbara's smile. How does Barbara make Simon laugh? Barbara tells funny jokes. Where do Simon and Barbara want to live in the future? They want to live in New York. What do they do on rainy days? They play board games at home. How do they start their morning? They start with a cup of coffee together. What book did Simon and Barbara read together? They read The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. How do Simon and Barbara solve disagreements? They talk and listen to each other. What is their favorite memory together? Their favorite memory is watching the sunrise in Australia. I hope these examples are useful for your English learning. Thanks for watching.
Planning a trip to Venice. Hi Isabella, have you ever thought about visiting Venice?
Hi Eric. Yes, I've always dreamed of going to Venice. Why do you ask?
I was thinking it could be our next adventure. How about planning a trip to Venice?
That sounds amazing. I've always wanted to see the canals and the beautiful architecture.
Exactly. We could take a gondola ride through the canals. It's one of the most famous things to do there.
Oh, a gondola ride sounds so romantic. We should definitely include that. What else should we see?
We shouldn't miss Mississippi St. Mark's Square and the Basilica. They say it's breathtaking.
Yes, and I'd love to see the Rialto Bridge and the Doge's Palace too. There's so much history there.
Absolutely. We could also take a day trip to the nearby islands of Murano and Burano. Murano is famous for its glassmaking.
And Burano for its lace and brightly colored houses, right? That would be lovely.
Definitely. What do you think about timing? When should we go?
I read that spring or early autumn is the best time. The weather is pleasant, and it's not too crowded.
Sounds perfect. I'll look into flights and accommodation options for us.
Great. And I'll start making a list of places we want to visit and things we want to do.
Do you think we should learn some basic Italian phrases? It might come in handy.
That's a great idea, Eric. Knowing how to say please, thank you, and where is the bathroom in Italian could be very useful.
I'll download an app for us to learn some Italian. It'll be fun.
And let's not forget about the food. I can't wait to try authentic Italian pizza, pasta, and gelato.
Of course, the food tour is a must. We'll eat our way through Venice.
This is going to be such an exciting trip, Eric. Thank you for suggesting it.
I'm glad you're on board, Isabella. This will be an unforgettable trip to Venice for both of us.
I can't wait. Let's make it the best trip ever.
Absolutely, Isabella. Venice, here we come.